I have two brand new cameras with me today, two of the hottest cameras everyone has been talking about online. Both are completely sealed, and we're going to unbox them together for the very first time. Which one should we open first? Well, since we're opening both anyway, let's start one at a time. First up is the Insta360 Luna Ultra. Right away, I have to say the packaging is impressive. The box feels incredibly premium. Just opening it gives you that flagship product experience. I'll set that aside for now because it's time to unbox the DJI Pocket 4 Pro. Now, this comparison isn't entirely fair because the Luna Ultra I have is the standard edition, while the Pocket 4 Pro is the creator combo. So let's ignore the price for the moment since DJI hasn't officially announced it yet. Instead, let's focus on the cameras themselves. The first thing I noticed after opening the Luna Ultra is its protective case. Honestly, I like it even more than DJI's previous designs. It fully protects the gimbal while remaining compact and practical. It's much better than the older Pocket 3 style cover. When you place these two cameras side by side, they actually look surprisingly similar. At first glance, you probably wouldn't notice many differences. The Pocket 4 Pro does look a bit more professional because its camera module appears larger, even though both cameras use a 1-inch CMOS sensor. Before turning them on, DJI simply gives the impression of having a bigger camera. Now, let's check the weight. The bare weight of the Insta360 Luna Ultra is 231 grams. The DJI Pocket 4 Pro weighs 231.1, actually 231.2 grams. Seriously? These two cameras that everyone has been debating online weigh almost exactly the same. That's surprisingly strange. While they finish updating, let's see what comes inside the boxes. Since these aren't the same package, we'll ignore the creator combo accessories like microphones and focus only on the basic accessories. One thing I really like about the Luna Ultra is its clever little base. It actually hides a tiny fold-out tripod underneath. Open it up and the camera stands by itself immediately. DJI also includes a base, but it's just a base. If you want a tripod, you have to attach the separate tripod accessory that comes in the creator combo. Once both cameras are standing, you'll notice another difference. The DJI setup is noticeably larger. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it also makes it more stable. If I gently shake the table, the Luna Ultra tips over much more easily, while the Pocket 4 Pro stays standing much better. One feature people have been discussing a lot is remote control. The Luna Ultra has a detachable touchscreen that doubles as a wireless remote. You can hold it in your hand and monitor exactly what the camera sees while controlling it. DJI also has a wireless remote, but it's much smaller. The problem is ergonomics. The Luna's controller fits comfortably in one hand, making one-handed operation easy. DJI's tiny remote is harder to grip naturally, so I have to hold it differently just to operate it. I wouldn't be surprised if third-party companies release finger-mounted remote accessories very soon, because the current design isn't the most comfortable. Now, let's activate both cameras and compare their user interfaces. The moment you turn them on, it's obvious why DJI has taken legal action over interface similarities. Swipe down for quick settings, swipe up for image quality options, swipe left and right, almost identical. Honestly, that's not a bad thing. If you're already a DJI user switching to Insta360, you'll feel right at home. The learning curve is almost non-existent. Even rotating the camera to power it on or off works the same way, and the remote control experience is also remarkably similar. Where they start to differ is in the gimbal controls. DJI has years of experience building drones and gimbals, and you can immediately feel that. The joystick movement is incredibly smooth and refined. The Insta360 controller, however, has a noticeable dead zone before it starts moving. You have to push through that initial resistance before the gimbal responds, and the motion never feels quite as fluid as DJI's. Watch this. If I pan left while tilting upward at the same time, DJI performs the movement smoothly. The Luna Ultra hesitates slightly during simultaneous X and Y axis movement. In this area, DJI clearly takes the win. Looking at video specifications, DJI records up to 4K at 60 frames per second, while the Luna Ultra can shoot 4K 120 or even 8K 30. On paper, that's a clear advantage for Insta360. But since both cameras use a 1-inch CMOS sensor, we'll need to examine the real-world image quality before drawing conclusions.
Pricing is also interesting. The Luna Ultra Standard Edition costs around 3,999 RMB, while the Pocket 4 Pro Standard Edition is expected to launch around 3,799 RMB. Storage is another big difference. The Luna Ultra includes only 47 gigabytes of built-in storage, while DJI gives you approximately 103 gigabytes, more than double. Considering how expensive fast storage is, that's definitely a meaningful advantage. Let's head outside and see how they perform. Many people have been asking what 3x zoom selfies actually look like. Well, with my arm length, this is what you get. Basically, my entire face fills the frame. Both cameras are now using automatic face tracking with 3x zoom. Can you guess which one is DJI and which one is Luna? If you guess this one is DJI, you're right. If you guess the other one is Luna, you're also right. Now, let's see how they react when something passes in front of the subject. 3, 2, 1. Next, here's autofocus at the standard 1x focal length. Watch how quickly each camera locks focus. DJI is clearly faster and more reliable. Of course, DJI has refined this technology over several generations, while the Luna Ultra represents Insta360's first attempt at this type of gimbal camera. Yesterday, I spent some time walking along the riverside with both cameras, and after using them side by side, I'd say each has its own strengths. Right now, both are shooting in 4K 60, with every setting left on full auto. Personally, I prefer DJI's color science. The colors look more natural and realistic. The Luna Ultra produces a brighter, cooler image that's very appealing for social media and vlogging, but for professional-looking footage, I still lean toward DJI. Even without any color grading, DJI simply looks more true to life. The Luna has a more trendy, influencer-style look. Now, let's compare the 3x zoom footage. Which camera gives you the better depth of field? In a few days, I'll be taking both cameras to a live concert so we can see how they perform in a real-world event with difficult lighting conditions. Without enabling any dedicated night mode, I think both cameras produce impressive image quality. However, their color science is completely different. Ultimately, choosing between them comes down to your personal taste. As for the operating system, Insta360 feels almost identical to DJI. If you've used a DJI Pocket before, switching over is incredibly easy. Whether those interface similarities become a legal issue isn't something I'll comment on. When it comes to remote control, both cameras have their strengths. The Luna Ultra's controller feels much more comfortable to hold, while DJI's tiny remote isn't nearly as ergonomic. However, DJI's joystick movement is significantly smoother and more precise. The Luna controller has a noticeable dead zone. You push, nothing happens, then suddenly it moves too much. One feature where Insta360 really stands out is its zoom rocker. You can smoothly transition from 1x all the way to 12x zoom with a seamless motion. DJI doesn't offer that experience. You're basically switching between fixed focal lengths instead of smoothly zooming. So for zoom control, Insta360 wins. For gimbal smoothness and precision, DJI wins. Finally, let's talk about color. Personally, I still prefer DJI's color science. It feels more natural and cinematic. The Luna Ultra has a cooler, brighter, internet-friendly look that's perfect for modern vlogs, but it's not my preferred style for professional video work. Keep in mind that all of today's comparisons were done using each camera's standard color profile. I didn't use any log profiles or custom color styles because those depend entirely on personal preference and fall outside my testing criteria. If there are any other tests you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to test them over the next few days. See you in the next video!